Okay. So how many kids do you have?
I have three.
Three kids. And are they now scattered across the United States because
No.
of?
So the oldest one
yeah.
is married in the Dallas area,
Okay.
and my other two kids still live with us.
Nice. Yeah, that's great. And how long you been married?
24 years.
Wow. Okay. What's the secret sauce?
Yes, you gotta forget stuff.
Okay. That's actually a fair.
You gotta forget
That's
stuff.
a really good piece of wisdom. Actually, that's not bad. Okay. Well, what would you say the main lesson the military has taught you?
Resilience.
Resilience.
You gotta get up. What's that saying? Get knocked down 10 times, get up 11 times.
Yeah.
Things are gonna go your way. Always have a plan, but realize that plan is gonna go out the door.
It's gonna change.
Yeah. It's just stuff like that, and also, one thing people don't realize, the military is pretty diverse and pretty collaborative. Most people don't think that,
Yeah.
There's people from all backgrounds, all countries are in the military, and you gotta be collaborative. The Army has this, stereotype, I'm the boss, do what I say, but it's really not like that.
It's more collaboration.
All the people who were like that failed as leaders.
Yeah.
And like I say, when I was officer Army, I would tell people, your vote counts.
Yeah.
But maybe not all the time. But I'm at least going to take your input in and,
Yeah, that's great. I feel like all of my friends who are like former veterans and have gone on to business, right, and have overcome the hurdle of mental illness, right? Because I know that's a big thing when you go into any type of war space, just with post-traumatic stress and all of that. But the folks who have kind of come out on the other end always seem to be successful in business and dedicated to what they're doing, and people of absolute integrity. And it's just, there's something about that systematic training that gets you to that place.
Yeah, they definitely put in the will to win, will to the drive to succeed. It's like embedded in you from the earliest time in the military.
Sure, yeah.
And sometimes it could be a detriment when you get out because you're so driven. You kind of like,
now what do? You
kind of like overshine your boss, and like when my first job out of the military, I purposely I'm gonna like not do everything, like kind of calm down and like not be a driven. And the person who was in charge of, hey Jason, you're doing a great job, but can you basically he said you kind of make it look at people bad.
Wow.
And I thought to myself, I'm like performing like 40% capability right now. Like we work day on, day off. Like, and most people in the military have that same mindset.
Yeah. Well, that's a good segue. So it seems like with Bunker Labs and a couple of these other nonprofits that are really trying to empower veterans to utilize that energy, that drive, to become entrepreneurs, right? Because that's exactly what it means to be an entrepreneur. It's this constant driving towards greatness. So let's talk a little bit about cavnesHR. What drove you to start that, and what's that like?
Quick story. When I was retiring from the military back in 2015, they tell you go on LinkedIn, find a job, blase. So I'm there connecting with people. And this guy named Mark Rowe reached out to me. He said, hey Jason, my name's Mark Rowe. I have a startup called MyUnfold. We want to help college graduates and veterans find jobs by doing skills tests because we don't see their resumes, helping you out.
Yeah.
Can we meet up and you explain to me how the Army is gonna, help you find a job?
Sure.
I'm like, sure, but what the blank is a startup? I had no clue, no concept, no at all, right? So we met up. He started talking about, minimal viable product market fit, lean startup, all these terms. And a light bulb went on my head. I said, well, you haven't said anything about HR. Why is that? Oh, HR, we do that down the road. We don't have time for that, Another light bulb went off. So, well, let me, work for your startup. I know it'll be free, but, I'll be getting some valuable experience, learn how to do all that stuff. And he said, well, let me think about it. But me being me, the Army mentality, I pretty much hired myself. Started going to meetings, started making products. And so before I forget, an interesting side note, the person who did our marketing and person who did the design went to high school my daughter were in Korea.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
So like most startups, they didn't make it. So I was there for like 2 years. I did everything except code and design, but we didn't make it. But in my back of my mind, maybe this might be a business idea, do HR for startups. That evolved startups for companies with less than 49 people because, most startups don't have money at all,
Got it.
So, I did some research, according to Small Business Administration, there's over 5 million small business in the United States. Most of HR, because, a guy like me, like 50,000 plus 80,000, 50 to 80,000 a year plus benefits. Mom and pop store can't afford that.
Yeah, of course.
All those HR concerns, they charge like up to $300, $400, $500 an hour. And in my mind, they like under-deliver and under-deliver value and overcharge.
Of course.
So then, they tell you, validate your idea. So for a 6-month period, I talked to 331 people, either like small business owners, people in tech startups. I just make sure I didn't know them,
Sure.
And it's surprised how you just ask somebody to, they'll go meet with you.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Same with podcasting,
yeah,
right? It's like, hey,
exactly.
I'd love to have you on. Yeah, I'd love to be on. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Like
That's
50% said yes.
Yeah.
And so of those 30 and 31, 71% said they would pay for HR.
Okay.
19% said no, and the rest said pretty much no FHR.
Wow.
Yeah, and this, been going at it since then, like
Yeah.
being through a whole lot of people, just meeting people, any kind of tech company, the tech is a challenge, especially here in the Seattle area, because people think there's a lot of developers here, and there are, but of course, Amazon, Microsoft, they take all them up, so it's a challenge. And
of course,
and like I tell people, like you can give people equity in a company, but to me, that's the same as saying, I'm gonna give you 1% in Cavness HR. I'm gonna tell you, hey, I'm gonna give you that pot of gold and the rainbow is yours,
Sure.
It's probably not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So it's always a challenge.
Yeah, that's interesting. So, 49 people that you're recruiting, like a 49 or under,
yes,
is what your company is. So what does that business typically look like? Is that mom and pop shop? Is that like, who are you recruiting for mostly?
It could be as long as it's 49 or less.
Okay.
It could be any industry. We're just focused on it right now. Right now we're focused on the Seattle-Tacoma area, but we want to be a nationwide company.
Yeah.
So we're doing the marketing nationwide.
Sure.
Like putting real relationships.
Sure.
Like I always tell people, we're not selling donuts or cookies.
Sure.
It's going to take like 10, 20 touches for anyone
of course,
with us.
Yeah. Personally, I just went through a transition and recruiting process to leave my brokerage Windermere, which I love them. They're great. To join Compass. But Compass is better in my opinion. And the experience I had through that transition, I got to see firsthand what recruiting does, how HR touchpoints are so powerful. And I think it's easy to see, if you don't see the human being as an actual resource, right? Human resources, and you're not taking care of that human, they're going to go elsewhere, right? If they don't feel valued in some point. So like all of these little touches where individuals from the company reached out. Literally last night, the CEO of the company, he's worth like $100 million or something like that, called me on my cell phone. It's like, hey, I just want to say thanks for joining and really excited you're here. I'm like, what in the world? That is so cool.
People don't realize how important that is. That employer branding, like you'll never forget that.
Yeah,
employer branding as part of HR is so important, and people just feel it over and over again, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. So okay, so tell me what makes you different besides recruiting for 49 or less. What about your company is different from the typical HR company?
So for example, it's 49 or less, and the plan is, like, suppose we have 10 companies in Kansas we're taking care of.
Sure.
The plan is to have an actual HR person in Kansas to take care of them. For a lot of other HR companies, they'll be like in California, Washington.
Right.
The HR person will be in that state, so we're doing that differently.
Sure.
Also, we're gonna have a thing called responsive HR advice, and right now it's set up a Slack channel. But basically, you'll call or email us when you want to if you have a question.
Yeah.
For example, 2 examples I use. I probably need to come up with better examples. One example, you might, we have a company in Kansas. They call the HR person in Kansas.
Sure.
Or email them, whatever the case may be. Hey, cavnesHR, John Smith has been working 4 days. Can I fire him? And we're talking through that. Or cavnesHR person, Mary's not working out. She's failed a PIP program. She's toxic. We're gonna, we decided we're going to let her go next Tuesday.
Yeah.
But she told us she's pregnant today. What do we do? And we're talking through that.
How do you navigate that?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you do?
Well, I know a lot of people would say get rid of her, but I would say think about your employer branding.
Sure.
Because even if she's at fault everything, no one's going to believe that. They're going to say, this company fired a pregnant person, and you're going to take a hit.
Yeah.
So let's find out another way to work through this.
Sure. Maybe it's a really generous plan to let her,
or put in a position or work something out.
Or something out.
Because she's going on social media, they're going to share it, and you're going to get slaughtered.
Yeah. It is interesting in our current climate today how we immediately go to the edges. There's no black and white.
No.
Which
all
is
the way
really
to the left, all the way to the right.
I know. And I that actually is boring to me because it's not nuanced, right? Like I want to be able to take apart complex situations, right? One of my favorite podcasters, Pete Holmes, I don't know if you listen to his podcast, You Made It Weird, but he was talking about, like, he's a vegan, but he occasionally will eat a cookie or eat a piece of fish. He's like, I wish Democrats and Republicans, right or left, could at some point eat a cookie, and kind of just see things the opposite direction and understand where people are coming from. Because I do think in our climate that's really tough. You're absolutely right. I think it could be detrimental for that to get out there and that soundbite to be like, company fires pregnant woman
without no other background or nothing else.
No, exactly. And there's no it's a clickbait headline that all of a sudden now
it goes viral. Yeah. Everyone broadcasts the company got out of business.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario.
It's tough, man. Well, so is the goal eventually? Will that be like PR, branding, or controlling those types of crazy things at some point with Cavness, or do you just want to
just to help them out? But we want to focus on HR.
On HR. Okay. Cool. Why is HR important?
I think it's very important because when you think about it, you have operations, marketing, sales. No other business function touches every point of the employee's life cycle. It starts off with recruiting.
Sure.
And it doesn't happen nowadays, but if an employee stays for 20 years, recruiting, promotions, benefits, all the way to taking them out. Even if someone just leaves after 6 months, you can start exit surveys.
Sure.
And I think you be in a company and be it we'll say a sales department, you might never see anyone in operations, but you're going to see someone in HR.
Yeah, of course. Well, and it is interesting how that person like you really kind of connect with, and you stay with throughout the entire experience.
That's the first person you're going to see in the company.
Yeah.
Either the recruiter or at the interview process, or even send up the interviews. You don't know the HR person.
Sure. Yeah, that's important stuff. How long have you been doing Caveness now?
So I got the idea about 3 years ago, but I did a Delaware Corporation June 2018.
Okay, nice. That's great. And is it online mostly that you're doing all your target marketing and stuff?
The plan is all online.
Okay.
Yes, so everything's online. So the example, you'll come to our website, you sign up. We'll give you a 2-page about HR laws, all the laws you got to follow.
Okay.
Based on your location, because laws in Seattle are different from Dallas, Texas.
Of course.
Then give you your labor posters based on location, and that's all the free offerings. And then if you decide to sign up for us, we send you 10 questions for your employee handbook. So stuff like how many days off you're gonna give people paid holidays.
Sure.
So we can't tell you that. Then we have you give a welcome message, closing message.
Sure.
So one thing we do, a lot of HR people, a lot of people think handbooks of compliance. Don't do this. But we try to tell us more like culture and values. This is a document you should give your employees to show what culture you want to have in your company.
Sure. Yeah.
And then from there, we use a quest to do the HR policies and have everything online in the cloud, so to speak.
That's great.
And then also like job descriptions, response to HR advice, that kind of stuff.
That's great. Very cool. What are some of your favorite companies you're working with right now?
So Business Impact Northwest is a good company. They're a nonprofit here in Seattle.
Nice.
They help non-traditional businesses like the LGBTQ community, minorities, veterans start businesses. And they're actually doing a pitch competition right now called Impact Pitch, where you can vote for the company.
Nice.
I think there's 20 videos. 20 companies with videos. You vote for one, and I want to say September 19th they do a pitch competition.
No way. That's cool.
It's pretty cool.
That's great. Very cool. Well, let's transition a bit. So you're a leader at Bunker Labs.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about Bunker Labs and what they're all about.
So Bunker Labs started in 2015. It's a national nonprofit to help veterans become entrepreneurs, veterans and military spouses. Because we all know there's all these organizations out there for jobs and mental health, but there's nothing out there for helping veterans start jobs.
Sure. Yeah.
So
which can also be depressing, I think, right? Like if it's all just about helping me overcome and not actually move forward, like what's the point? It's one of the things like Bunker Labs. They're based out in Seattle. We work in South Lake Union is their like space, and it's so cool. Like it's this cool tech forward, very like hip place where you can go and you can like think through your ideas. It's offering this elevated space for you to bring your idea to reality.
Yes. So talking about rework. So Bunker Labs, we have a partnership with Rework called Veterans of Residence.
Nice.
And as part of that, Rework provides 10 veteran entrepreneurs and military spouse entrepreneurs free space in 15 cities.
Oh, no way.
With
Wow.
Seattle and Lakewood being one of them. Seattle and Lake Union being one of them. And that's a perfect segue because we're actually taking applications for the next Veterans of Residence.
Whoa, okay.
And nice thing about Veterans of Residence, so like we would say like tech stars and YC Combinator, they're all like tech companies.
Yeah.
But we take anyone.
That's awesome.
So the VIR was in a couple courses again, and I'm trying to do a tech company.
Sure.
We're at a nonprofit. Someone's trying to build a marijuana app.
Nice.
Someone had a drone company. So we take all kinds.
That's awesome.
So we have an application right now. We'll put the link to the show notes. The application ends September 2nd. and I'm pretty much the city leader for VIR, so I'm sitting in the program for all that stuff right now.
Yeah, that's great.
And it's supposed to start October 1st, and it's 6 months. So we
Okay.
like bring speakers in, mentors, all that kind of stuff.
The whole thing. Okay,
Yeah.
so if you're a veteran, go check that out because that actually sounds pretty awesome. Plus, to just expand your community, because I'm guessing you're going to meet more veterans who are entrepreneurs.
Yes, we have our own program. WeWork provides programs for us. We have meetups once a month, so it's a great program. And that's the people you meet, you know.
Yeah. All right. We're fans of WeWork on the podcast. So, all right. Let's see. Here is. We talked a little bit about the political environment. Let's talk. Honestly, let's talk about Seattle.
Okay.
So, on the scale of 1 to 50, right? Where does Seattle lie in our country when it comes to energizing and empowering veterans? Is that something that we're doing well?
I think so. I think so. I mean, I think this whole state of Washington in general does a good job of it.
That's great.
And like I'll tell people, like Seattle is a great place as far as entrepreneurship, taking care of veterans.
Sure.
It's a lot of energy behind it, and you got to think about the economy here is booming. It's way worse places to be at than here.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, if you want opportunity, if there's a lot of money to be made here, a lot of opportunity. Of course, you got to go out and hustle and get it. No one's going to give it to you.
Of course.
But the networking opportunities, I mean, pretty much every day in the Seattle area, there's some kind of network meeting going on.
Yeah.
You just got to reach it. You got to make an effort. You know, you can't just stay at home or, you know, and boo-hoo-hoo, the war's against me. You have to get out there and, you know, grind and hustle. But, I mean, the opportunity's there. You just got to meet the right people, and the people want to help you here. I mean, if you just say, I'm a veteran, they just immediately turn to you and how can I help?
That's awesome. That's really good. Do you feel like, you know, there seems to be this connection between veterans and homelessness, right? Like you see a lot of the guys flying signs. Homelessness is something that I'm really passionate about, primarily because I make my living off selling homes. There is this direct connection of unaffordability to homelessness. There's also, of course, drug use and all of that other stuff. But do you feel like we could do better when it comes to supporting veterans who are going down that road, or do you know even what leads to that? Is that just typically substance abuse?
Yeah, I might get sent out for this, but first of all, I'm willing to bet most of the veterans, people out there who are signed to veterans, I'm willing to bet most of them are not veterans.
Are not vets.
I could be wrong, you know, 'cause some of them are, of course, but you always hear stories that, you know, people just make a sign, you know, because here's a veteran.
It's inspiring.
Here's a sign, and you give you $1.
Yeah.
And then, you know, there's so many resources out there for veterans.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and literally hundreds of them here just in this area. Of course, the challenge is it can be overwhelming sometimes, you know.
Yeah, the amount of choices.
Yes, and I think sometimes, like, not just homeless people in general, I think, you know, some of them, you know, get used to the lifestyle, and just, you know, they're content, so to speak, you know. They don't make the effort. But, you know, mental illness has a lot to do with it. Drugs has a lot to do with it.
Sure.
And my solution, you know, is this. Of course, I realize, you know, a lot of homeless people, they burn bridges, you know, stuff like that. But every person who's homeless or in a bad spot has a family member or a friend who wants to help them out.
Sure.
But how do you connect them, you know? Like, how do you get them to do the connection? Of course, like I said, they might have, you know, built some bridge and, you know, went to the daughter's house or parents' house and stolen everything.
Stolen something, yeah.
So I'm not really talking about that. That's a different case. But I'm going to bet a lot of people are homeless in a bad situation. There's someone they could call. Like you know, if a long-lost friend call me and say they need help, I would do something for them.
Sure.
At least I would hope I would, you know.
Sure.
I hope I would anyway. I just think that's one way to solve it. But first of all, the homeless or the person has to ask for help.
Yeah.
And I think pride comes into it.
Yeah. A couple of years back, we had the CEO of Union Gospel Mission, Jeff Lillian. He's since stepped down from that position, but he was saying that exact same thing. He's like, you know, you or I, like if you fall on hard times, you could call me, right? Shoot me an email, be like, Tyler, something's happening, and we would figure something out, right? Like we have that network, we have that community. With a lot of these folks, they have burned those bridges, right? They've stolen mom's TV one too many times, so they've been kicked out, and that's complicated and that's difficult. And I don't know. Yeah,
there's no easy solution. So there's an easy solution that would have been solved by now. I mean, communities have thrown money at it, you know.
Sure.
And like all now the West Coast, LA, San Francisco, it's a challenge, you know. I don't know about the East Coast and Middle America, but if they have a challenge, but of the West Coast, it's like,
interesting. Okay. All right. Well, let's shift a little bit. What do you think? I mean, as far as Seattle goes, what is your greatest like hope for our city, I guess, when it comes to veterans?
Well, that's a great question. I think just treat us like anyone else. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people like, I won't say put on a pedestal, but oh, there's a veteran, treat him with eggshells, or just
Interesting.
give him a chance.
There's like a stigma around
Yeah,
around
like
that.
you always see these things, like you'll do a networking group focus on veterans. What you
Mm.
should do is still like having a separate meetup group, just integrate us into everything else going on.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Instead of, oh, here's put all these veterans over here, like just integrate them. Get to know the people, because
Interesting.
everyone wants to be successful.
Yeah. That's great. What's been like the biggest learning that you have had now that you're no longer a veteran? You're stepping into this entrepreneur role. Like what's been the biggest takeaway stepping back into civilian life?
That ever, like in the military, you're like driven, do it now. In the civilian world, it's more like, okay, we got time to do it. Let's take a break. When the military is like, you got to do it now.
There's time to rest.
Yeah. In the military, there's no time to rest. You gotta, you only have a short. In the military, you pretty much change jobs like once a year, right?
Yeah.
So within the first 30 days, you got to make your impact.
Interesting.
Where I think the civilian world is a little more laid back, and plus it depends on the culture of the company too.
Mm-hmm. All right, gotcha. Likewise to my previous question, what is your biggest fear for the city of Seattle? And that could be in juxtaposition of veterans, or that could be something that is concerning for you long term.
I mean, of course, the big thing right now is traffic, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, just a traffic.
Flying cars. Come on, autonomous cars.
We need that Star Trek technology. Beam me up, Scotty.
We really do. It's bad.
I mean, it's just a challenge. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
'Cause I read somewhere, I don't know how true it is, but how they're expanding the roads like 3-4 lanes.
And it does nothing.
Yeah, because someone said
they just filled
the amount of cars, they're going to fill it up, so it doesn't matter.
Yep.
And I think we have pretty good public transportation here. I use it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, like, can it get better? Probably. Just the traffic. And of course, back to the homeless problem,
Sure.
it's fixed so many things, because like you go downtown, you have tourists coming in and they're stepping over, that kind of stuff. It's just not a good look, but what you do, just get rid of them. You can't do that either. So
Right.
I mean, I would think, like I said, Seattle is one of the better places to live in the whole area. But can it be improved? Of course, because every challenge you have, there's a solution to it, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Are there any other organizations you wanted to plug? I know we had talked Linked Seattle a little bit.
Yes.
Is that something that you want to talk more about?
Yes. So cavnesHR partnered with an organization called Linked Seattle.
Okay.
It's founded and led by Olivier Taupin. Hopefully I said his last name right.
Okay.
So it's a 75,000 member community here in Seattle. And we're going to start a thing called Super Meetup starting September.
Okay.
So fast forward to June 2020.
Right.
We're going to put on a Black Tie Awards gala ceremony.
Nice.
We're going to give out awards like Best Diversity, Best Inclusion, Best, everything.
Cool.
Like, really nice award ceremony. And it's being hosted by the NBC Streets of Pioneer Square. Okay. So if you haven't been there, check it out. It's a nice venue.
Nice.
They've only been open for like a year and a half, and they're already like one of the top rated hotels on Yelp and TripAdvisor. And it's really great. And plus, it's by the train station, stadium, so it's a really nice location.
Sure.
So in order to lead up, we're going to do like super meetups every month. So in September is going to be one on culture. It's going to be different hubs. So we're trying to do the vertical and horizontal sectors.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we're going to have like tech, HR, sales and marketing, operations and finance, and there's one more that's accepted right now. But I'll put the link I'll send the link to you. And so each hub is going to have like 50 people that are led by table captains. So 1 month the culture, 1 month with diversity, 1 month we're doing homelessness.
Cool.
1 month doing veterans, 1 month cybersecurity. And so we're planning to bring all these people in and talk and hash out solutions.
Yeah, that's great. And is this veterans related, or is this this is just a partnership that you guys
just
have?
Partnership with them. Yeah,
okay,
this
cool.
is related.
That's great. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, well, again, homelessness is something that's like very connected to me. So another friend of the podcast, I don't know if you've heard of Samaritan. So it's an app that you can download in a way to give cashlessly to people, and that cash is vetted through nonprofits. And so they have to actually go to these organizations, meet with advisors, counselors, things like that in order to even get the cash. And the way they spend the money, it's on a card or on an app. So they can't go off and buy booze or anything like that. So it's this really interesting juxtaposition, because most of the time, people are, hey, I need $50 to buy a pair of shoes because I have an interview, and I have to buy non-slip shoes or something along those lines. So every deal that I do in Seattle goes towards that company to kind of help fight homelessness.
Yeah, and Link Seattle, we're giving 10% to a homeless organization
Awesome.
too.
Oh, nice. That's great.
Every meetup we do is like 10% is going to charity.
That's cool. That's really cool. Okay, excellent. Anything else that you want to plug before we call it quits?
So we talked about Bunko Labs, talking about cavnesHR, linked Seattle. No, I think that pretty much covers it. And thanks for having me. This is a great conversation.
This is great, man. I've really enjoyed it. What piece of wisdom do you want to leave the city of Seattle with?
So our motto is like, be great every day.
I like that.
Be great every day, and just every day try to add value and solve a problem. I mean, it's as simple as that. Be
That's
nice. All the stereotypical things.
Sure. Yeah. Well, this has seriously been a treat. I really appreciate it,
Thank you.
Jason. Anything Rise Seattle can do for you, just let us know. All right, Seattle, have a great day. Go be great today. Add value to wherever you are in your workplace. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Thank you very much.
All right.